Hi everyone, it's Keirstin from Life's Magic. I want to talk about a little about emotions, our feelings, and triggers today. I woke up this morning and I felt fine. Had a lot of things going on in my head as usual when I wake up, and I was trying to balance those out. While I was in the shower and had me time. And then as soon as my daughter woke up, she decided that she just didn't want to wake up. And in her doing so, she triggered me into getting frustrated. And I'd have to say it's one of the hardest things about parenting is not being triggered by your own child. So I'm not sure if everyone is aware. I'm sure you've heard of the word trigger. It's whatever, it has to do with emotions. You know, your emotions are triggered by something that is happening in your life. It could be a person, or something that happened in your life can be triggering. Hi, B. So I want to do a little backstory on this because I, woke up fine, and I was triggered by my daughter, and it's been challenging to get out of the somber feeling because waking up and having a morning that is stressful is not the easiest thing to just get out of, especially when you have kids and you're a single parent trying to get everything done and them out the door for school on time. So something that I used to live with is waking up feeling like crap. I lived most of my life in depression, and every day it was normal for me to wake up feeling like shit and not feeling great. So now it's the opposite. Now I wake up, I feel great, I'm happy to be alive. And so when I wake up and I have these days of somberness and sadness inside of me, I try to figure out where it's coming from. And obviously it's coming from inside of me, and how can I figure out how to set it free. And in doing so, there's a few things that I try to do. I don't always react quickly just because I have a hectic schedule and can get caught up in my stressful life and the stress of life and work and other people, my having clients. And anyway, you can get lost very easily into your life and not realize that you need to take just a few moments for yourself. And I reached out to one of my friends this morning, and I'm just like, God, today I just feel like crap. And I knew that it was something that I needed to discuss about because I know a lot of this stuff is going around about suicide prevention and depression awareness and anxiety awareness, and I live that life, and I don't live it anymore. And I realized that this morning, even more so for some reason. I think it was because I was feeling kind of out of it, and I realized that I don't wake up this way very often, and I don't have these days very often anymore, and I'm feeling very grateful for it. But I thought I'd tap into it because it's not easy to get to this point. And you have friends, oh yeah, just get over it, or oh yeah, it's so easy, you just do breathing exercise every day, you meditate every day. And it doesn't work like that. It takes time, it takes a lot of digging internally, and reaching out internally, and also having support, finding yourself a coach, A good therapist that understands energy and understands childhood traumas, where you can get into it. A good hypnotherapist that also understands how to work through your emotions and teach you on how to do it on a daily basis, because just going to see your therapist or your coach once a week or even once a month is just not enough. I went through years and years and years of therapy, and it wasn't until I tried to commit suicide that really transformed my life. I fortunately I did not get harmed from my attempt, and I am still living. I mean, granted, I have some internal digestion issues because of it, but I'm still working through it. Obviously, I work through my own tools that I help my clients, but you have to do a lot of work for yourself. And that was the hardest thing, I think, for me to realize, is that no one can change me. I can't, no one else can do it for me. I have to do it myself. And a lot of times is just give up because you don't have the tools, you don't have that support system, you don't feel you have that support system, and you shut down yourself and you block yourself from even having a support system because you're so depressed and you're not able to get out of your head and out of your own way, and you're self-sabotaging your own life. And that took about 3 years for me to really grasp and get through. And I was very fortunate to connect with Modern Mystery School. And I was able to learn the tools that I could do on a daily basis to help myself get out of these moments of deep depression. And, it really is about taking moments for yourself and figuring out and doing your shadow work inside, understanding where things are coming from, because the more you understand about your life and yourself and your internal thought process, the easier it is to get through it. And right now, it takes me, a couple minutes to get myself out of the funk. Before, it used to take me days, to have episodes that go for weeks. And then gradually, the more and more I did my work, my inner work, the less and less I felt the crap. And, being as an empath, very sensitive person, a medium, anybody who's connected to source can have struggles with, living in the say, quote unquote, as a normal atmosphere, because you're very connected to other people's energy. And on top of that, which triggers your own energy, which triggers your own trauma, which triggers your own stuff that you have inside. And grounding ourselves is very important. As I sit here outside in nature for a few moments to help ground myself and spend time looking at the tree that's in front of my apartment, and the squirrels running around and the birds singing, and just the everyday, there's something in your life that you can find that's joyful. And it's about getting out of your own way to find it. And, I was probably a closet depression, I was in, I never know. A lot of people didn't know whenever I was depressed, because I hid it pretty well. I was one that just went out, had my smile on my face, and just was, dying inside. So if you are one of them, I understand. And it's something that you have to look at yourself deeper. and really spend some time searching inward. I know meditation is a fantastic tool for understanding our emotions, understanding ourselves, and digging deeper inside ourselves. Hypnosis is another that helps with understanding and digging deeper within yourself when you have a really good hypnotherapist. And I have found that, the more healings, energy work that I do, and the more meditations that I do, the clearer the path is for me, and the clearer understanding of my own inner demons, I guess you can say. And because, and a lot of it was, growing up not being able to voice my feelings, not be able to feel my feelings, because a lot of it was rage. And so now, going through and feeling the emotions and not acting upon them, and especially, now that I have a child involved, her frustration, I get triggered on many levels because I feel her frustration, because she's my child and I'm an empath and super sensitive and to energy that is around me. And, having the responsibility as a parent to calm myself down, so I can be that light for her, so she can feel her energy, so she can understand her emotions and let herself process the emotions, but at the same time understand that she doesn't need to act upon them, and that she does have a voice to use her words, and instead of just getting angry and frustrated and throwing things. So I'm probably babbling here, but anyway, the point of today is to really look at where your energy is. Really try your hardest to reach out to and find yourself guided to find yourself a outlet that isn't alcohol or drug related. That, yoga is great. Any mindfulness techniques obviously are very beneficial for anybody who is suffering anxiety and depression. Lots of breathing work, belly breaths, deep belly breaths constantly throughout the day. And the more and more you do everything in this way, the more and more you practice, the easier it becomes for you to just get out of your funk. And you can feel it, and then it's easier to just move through it and let it go and and live your life, and bring in the joy, because that's ultimately what focus needs to be on, is the joys, and not on the crappy things that happen in our lives. Everyone has crappy things that happen in our life. I mean, it's life, and understanding that those things don't last very long, even though they feel like they do. But you are your outlet. You are source. You have source inside you, and it's time to tap into that energy and let the flow of all of that run through you. Sadness is something that my daughter and I talk about a lot, and being that she doesn't have a father figure in her life, she reaches out for that and expresses it in frustration and also in a lot of deep sadness. And her and I work through that by, helping her understand that it's okay to be sad, that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to have those feelings, and to let her work through them. And, as children, I know myself and a lot of my friends and clients, weren't able to express themselves in that way. Feelings were bad. Sadness was bad. And, you weren't allowed to cry. You weren't allowed to say your piece. And you would always get in trouble if you did. So if you lived a life like that, it's time to switch that on yourself and, open that opportunity for yourself. Excuse me, to find your outlet, your inner voice, your inner self, and let yourself flow. The energy and the sadness, just don't live in it. And that was the one thing that one of the biggest things that I had to really learn was, I can be sad. I don't have to live in it for that moment. And it is true that the quicker you run through the emotion and you let yourself feel the emotion, the quicker it is that it goes through you, and you understand, and you're able to flow it more when you let yourself actually feel your emotions, not always act upon them, especially anger. And it always helps. Anger is one of those things that I find that the more I know why I'm angry, then it's easier to get through, and where the anger comes from. Because a lot of it, the anger is not something that actually is happening in present day. It's usually something that has happened in our past and is triggering us, and that emotion of when we were a child, to get angry at something that's happening. And it's, there's so many cycles of, it's like a domino effect in a way. So I have to go, rambling on, and I hope you all find your peace today and your joy today. And if you have any questions, please do comment below, because it would be great to discuss more of this topic with everybody, or anybody who's willing to understand more about their childhood traumas and understand their emotions and letting them feel emotions so that they can release the depression, anxieties, and also live their life. So blessings to everyone. I hope you have a fantastic day.